So, this one's gonna be about Jeff Bezos and happiness and maybe even other things, but it is mainly about Jeff Bezos and how he thinks we can live a happy life and also how he thinks he can live a happy life, which is very, very, very important. If you don't think it's important, then yeah. I do not want to say that you should fuck you, but it is definitely important. But more after the intro, like always. And I'm pretty pumped, I'm pretty pumped, if you can't tell. I'm really pumped for this episode, and I'm so amazingly grateful that I'm able to be here, to sit here in this chair and talk to you, because it is just an amazing thing, just an amazing task that I can do. But, before I even go into the whole episode, because I assume that if I do just put Jeff Bezos in the fucking title of the video and also maybe in the thumbnail, then people are gonna click it, No matter what, it has always kind of been the case. Therefore, if you do not have the time to go through a 30-minute video on what Jeff Bezos thinks and a lot of other really great information and valuable information, then please check out the links in the description. There you should find the link to the podcast. The podcast, if you don't know what a podcast is, I assume though that most people know what a podcast is. But a podcast is basically an audio-only version of this exact episode, which means that you can listen to it. Which means that you can listen to it while you're doing something else, Maybe you're walking your dog, maybe you're just playing some video games, maybe you're even watching another video. I don't fucking know what you could be doing. But, you can passively consume it, which is amazing, because not everybody, and I know that, and I can understand that, I definitely, I understand that, that people are not able to go through a 30-minute video. It is not everybody is able to watch a 30-minute video, especially if it is about like a relatively dry kind of thing, just it's because about happiness and about life and rich people and Bezos and whatsoever. So it might be not necessarily something that you are just, 150%, yes, I meant 150%, kind of happy about or just looking forward to or whatsoever. So it's definitely quite some time. Therefore, it is definitely also a thing to only listen to it, because you're just way more efficient by doing that. But yeah, without actually losing any time, let's actually jump right into the article. It is an article from CNBC, which I've actually seen that they have quite a few or quite a lot of great articles. I've actually seen in the past few months, I would say, because, before that I haven't actually thought about, going to CNBC and just kind of going through one of their articles. As you can see, it is not the longest article, but it is still something to read. I might be just going through it and then interrupt myself and then just talk about certain things, or I might just only read it and then that's quite it. It depends on how I feel. It depends on what I think about. But there you can already see him, Jeff Bezos, the richest person on this planet. Still, I guess, As far as I at least know, he's pretty fucking rich. He really is. Like, I think 100 billion or something, which is definitely like a lot. But on paper, something that is to be said is that he's worth, quote unquote, over, I think it might be $120 billion or something on paper. Really important, on paper. His company is worth 120 billion. Maybe his stock options that he's having of his own company are worth 120 billion. It doesn't even mean that he's having 120 billion in his fucking bank account. It really does not mean that, In theory, I guess, if he would sell his company, he would get 120 billion for all the stocks. In theory. I don't know if this is even just something that can work, or if it is like, okay, somebody just would have to buy it. But yeah, I don't know which company would have the fucking money for that. But I actually assume that some, maybe bankers, maybe a lot of banks all over the world, if they just combine themselves, would have the money for actually buying fucking Amazon, if it was to be sold, which is definitely not the case, because why would Bezos do that? Like, I wouldn't, I at least wouldn't, but, who knows what he's thinking about. Maybe he wants to put more money into Blue Origin and maybe other companies, who the fuck knows, really. But yeah, so billionaire Jeff Bezos, to live a happy life with no regrets by age 80, ask yourself these 12 questions. And the 12 questions are going to be at the end of the article. And by the way, the article is also going to be linked down in the description and also in the show notes if you're on a podcast. So therefore, you can also check it out if I might be a little bit too slow or something. I don't know. So what is the secret to a long, happy and successful life? Question mark. That seems to be a question we ask ourselves over and over, definitely. Like a lot of people, and well, we all can understand this. This is the thing. We all can understand why people are asking themselves that. It is a really important question. Really important question. But yeah. So Amazon CEO Jeff Bezos has shared his thoughts on this topic very oftentimes. And he might just be onto something. He definitely is. I guess, I really guess that he's a pretty happy person. At least, I don't know. I kind of feel this way, not just because he's having a lot of money, not just because he's quite having everything, besides just a pretty fucked up divorce and whatsoever. But, let's not talk about that. Well, he's having everything. I don't know what he would lack of. I couldn't think about something. But yeah, I'll move on. So when you're 80 years old and in a quiet moment of reflection, narrating for only yourself the most personal version of your life story, the telling that will be most compact and meaningful will be the series of choices you have made. Bezos said in his 2010 commencement, I don't even know what this is, speech at Princeton University, because he actually graduated from Princeton University. So something that I do have to point out there, and he's going to point it out also just a little bit further down in the article, it is about choices. It is definitely about choices. And the choices that you're making are very important. And I hope that I'm also going to have some time to talk about other things that have to do with choices. Because choices definitely matter. Choices are quite everything. Isn't it the case? Me just making the choice that I'm going to work out 5 times a week, or somebody else just gonna make the same choice, well, yeah, it might lead to health, or it's hopefully gonna lead to health. Somebody that might not make the choice to do that might not be healthy. Might. It is about might, I'm not for sure saying that, but of course, science has shown, sports and doing sports and moving your body and just eating healthy and all those things are pretty crucial, especially nutritional things and your diet. If you're eating like shit, please do not expect to be pretty healthy all the fucking time. It couldn't work. It won't work. But yeah, please eat healthy. It is definitely not just such a difficult thing. It is just not. Once you have actually figured out how you're going to do it for you, and I'm not even saying that you should just eat healthy 100% of the time. If you're having a cheat meal, that's fine. It is just fine. It is not good. I would really not suggest that. I would really suggest to eat clean all the fucking time. But if you're having a cheat meal once in a while, then I don't know. Just please don't judge yourself. It is what it is. You're just doing that. And, unless you're not doing it just, 10 times a week or something, so that it actually gets a new habit of your eating healthy schedule, then everything is fine. Please really don't judge yourself, because everything is good. Dab. Never mind. Okay. Let's move on. So the purpose of his speech, called "We Are What We Choose," was to emphasize the difference between gifts and choices. Cleverness is a gift and kindness is a choice. As he says, gifts are easy. They're given after all. Choices can be hard. You can seduce yourself with your gifts if you're not careful, and if you do, it will probably be to the determinant of your choices. In other words, no matter how successful you become, what you will end up caring about most in hindsight isn't the number of zeros in your bank account, but it is the choices you made to get where you are. It definitely is the case. But without the benefit of hindsight, how can we tell if we are on a path that we will be proud of when we look back on our lives 10, 20 or 30 years from now? Very important. And I do just want to, talk about it a little bit, because it's very important what he said there, at least at my point of view. It is definitely the case that the choices that you're making really, really fucking matter. They just matter, Who the fuck wants to be remembered as the boy or the girl or the dude or whatever who got rich by, very important, by killing other people? Nobody wants to have that. Nobody wants to have the legacy of just being a fucking murderer and getting just rich by, or becoming rich actually by murdering other people. Like, nobody would like to have that, The thing is, so definitely just give a fuck about your choices, Really think about what is a right thing and what is an easy thing. Warren Buffett in another interview said that, I think it actually was a speech as well, and it is definitely also on another article on CNBC, and he said that, if there was somebody, he does not like, it is then quite not about just right choices, maybe for him as well, it's definitely for him about right choices and the easy choices, quote unquote. And he said, if there's somebody, somebody that he does not like, he even hates, let's talk about something or someone he hates. There's someone he hates, and he's willing to pay him $100 fucking million for something, for something that Warren will do for him. Whatever it might be. I don't even know what Warren is doing the whole day long, besides reading and eating shit. Never mind. The thing is, he wouldn't do that. He wouldn't work with this guy, even though, he would give him just $100 fucking million. It is definitely a lot. It is also a lot for Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett wouldn't be like, okay, yeah, no, like, I do not need the 100 million. Like, just let it be what it is. I'm gonna work for you for fucking free. He wouldn't do that. I assume, and unless it is about charity or whatever it might be, he wouldn't do that for a guy that he hates, and he even wouldn't work with somebody that he hates, because I think he's actually in a position to just choose whom he is willing to work with. Like, there's definitely going to be a lot of people that he is not willing to talk and or even to work with, just because maybe their worldviews are kind of fucked up, or maybe they are just doing some fucked up things. Now we can definitely kind of discuss and debate about, okay, whether Warren is doing actually the right things with his life and with his investments and whatever, but yeah, he wouldn't just work together with someone he does not like, or work for somebody he just does not like. And I really like that, I really deeply like that, because it is about choices. It is about right choices for you, It might not be the right choice that is, I don't know, about your legacy, and about, I don't fucking know, about how you're going to be remembered. It is basically then about, okay, if this is something that will make you happy, and that will just also make you happy in terms of how you think about yourself. Because if you then truly know, okay, I worked with somebody just because of the money, is this then really something that will make you happy, in terms of you being happy about yourself? I guess not, I guess there would definitely be some regrets, and this is also what choices can make. Choices can actually make you feel the regrets if you're 80 fucking years old and you're living you're just in hospital and you're gonna die in the next 20 fucking hours. Then you're definitely gonna just think about your life and think about your choices and think about how you made your money. And I'm really willing to quote GaryVee there, because today I've actually been listening to the podcast again. I haven't, I think, for a week or 2 weeks actually, which is something that's pretty rare, to be honest, because I like to listen to things. I like to get inspired. I like to get the motivation. But it's really important to do then also something about it. It is really not about the motivation. I just like to have that. I just like to kind of rewire my brain from time to time, just because I sometimes for sure get into some negative space as well, and do kind of forget about the things that I have to be grateful about, and then having some voices in your head and having some positivity in your head can really help. It is a really amazing thing. But he said, it really does not matter about how much money you make, but how you make the money. And I really believe in that. I really deeply believe in that. And I really found that it is an amazing quote. It really is amazing, because, I don't know, as I said, nobody wants to be remembered as somebody that made money with something that they regret afterwards. You're willing, especially if you regret it yourself, then being remembered as somebody that only did that, even though you just did something else as well, but people do just really kind of ignore certain things, then nah. It is not good. It is really not good. I would really hate that, I guess. The constant struggle of making choices, which is the next point that Jeff Bezos is talking about. In his talk, Bezos recounted the period of time in which he first came up with the idea to start an online bookstore business, which would later become what the entire world now knows as Amazon. Because Amazon started as a bookstore, an online bookstore basically, or maybe even bookshelf. Let's call it a really, really fucking big bookshelf. So at the time he knew that moving forward with the idea would be a very risky move. Bezos even asked his boss, who he said was brilliant and much admired, for advice. He was told that although it sounded like a very good idea, it would be an even better idea if Bezos didn't already have a good job. And of course, I've read this article before I am reviewing it now. And the thing is, like, of course, your boss is gonna somehow be like, okay, yeah, you're having a pretty good job. Having a good worker for somebody, or having a good worker of yours, is definitely not somebody you're willing to lose, just by some risky business idea. I assume now, I'm really not saying something, I am assuming. But yeah, I think we should all go for our dreams, no matter how old we are, and especially if you are young. Like, if you're 20, 24, 25, 26, as also GaryVee said, and also Mark Cuban said, there is no failure. There is nothing to fail about. Like, what should you fail at? Life? No, you're not. Work? No, you're not. You're trying out, you're having time. You're having plenty of fucking time. If you're 25 years old, you're having just lived a fucking quarter of your fucking life, There's still a lot of fucking time left. And this is the point then, There is no failure then. Of course, you're going to learn. Of course, you're going to fail. But is it failure? Nah, because you can restart. Because you're so fucking young and we can restart. We can do shit. Which is also a really important point, or was maybe a really important point for me as well. Because, I have been recording podcasts for a year now. It has been fun. It has been a really lot of fun. And I still enjoy it and I still like it. Do I regret something? No, I don't think so. Have I failed? No, I don't think so. Is it a lot of time that I might be just that I even having, or that I even kind of put into what I'm doing here? Of course, it is just a really lot of fucking time. It really is. I'm not going to deny that. It is a lot of time. It takes quite a lot of time, but this is totally fine. And this was a rhyme. And this again was a rhyme. Fuck yeah. But yeah, I am gonna read. In the end, we are our choices. Build yourself a great story, by Jeff Bezos. So it's actually a quote. It really was a difficult choice, but ultimately I decided that I had to give it a shot. I didn't think I would regret trying and failing, and I suspected I would always be haunted by a decision to not try at all. Because Bezos said, after much consideration, I took the less safe path to follow my passion, and I am proud of that choice. He can definitely be proud of that choice. Definitely fucking happy. Actually proud and happy, because everything worked out really fucking well about your passion and about his passion. And this is actually a pretty important thing now. But I'm going to read, I'm going to read, finish up with this one, and then I'm going to talk again, I do not want to interrupt this whole experience too much. The perfect choice does not exist. It definitely does not. The truth in life is that we all make choices we end up regretting. It is called failure, and failure can be a good thing because it teaches us how to be better. But as we grow older, and our goals should be to minimize the number of failures that lead to regret, in the end, we are our choices. Build yourself a great story, he said towards the end of his speech. To build a great story, Bezos offered 12 questions and urged everyone to think deeply about them. And I'm going to repeat these questions, and I'm going to read these questions, and then I might be talking about each of them. It depends on the question. It depends of whether I can actually think about something or think of something or not. The first one is, how will you use your gifts? Which means your gifts of being a good athlete, being a good writer, being a good communicator, being a good speaker, being a good presenter. All those things. These are all things that nature gave you, or your genes gave you. Your parents, your grandparents, your siblings, whoever gave them to you, you do just have those gifts. You basically did not have to do anything for those gifts. They were just merely gifts, as gifts actually are, Most of the time you do not have to do something for gifts. Well, maybe you have to, but yeah. So what do you do about your gifts? How will you use them? The second thing is, what choices will you make? The third one, will inertia, INERTIA, be your guide, or will you follow your passions? The fourth one, will you follow dogma, or will you be original? The fifth, will you choose a life of ease or a life of service and adventure? The 6th one, will you wield under criticism, or will you follow your convictions? The seventh, will you bluff it out when you're wrong, or will you apologize? The 8th, will you guard your heart against rejection, or will you act when you fall in love? The 9th, will you play it safe, or will you be a little bit swashbuckling? I don't even know what this is, but I guess it is just totally not safe. The 10th one, when it is tough, will you give up, or will you be relentless? The 11th one, will you be a cynic, or will you be a builder? And the 12th and last one, will you be clever at the expense of others, or will you be kind? And I would definitely prefer to be kind, and I would definitely have to say, you should be kind. You really have to be kind. You know, I'm gonna actually have a rant on this. I think maybe on the weekend or something when I do just have some time. But please be fucking happy. It is important. You know, just be happy. Do not be a fucking asshole. Do not fuck with people, and just, well, actually, do fucking with people is actually a good thing. You know, do not fuck with people. You know, especially some people that you do just hate. You know, because your surroundings matter, your environment matters, the people around you matter. It is a really important thing. So while these questions don't provide a foolproof recipe for happiness, we can guide us in making choices that will ultimately help us live a life we're proud of. Not all of us will end up reaching the same height of success as Bezos, a self-made billionaire and the richest person in the world, but there is no reason we can't or shouldn't challenge ourselves to build a story worth telling. And this is now about legacy, something that I've been talking about maybe, I think, a few times during this episode. So for me, at my point of view, for me as a person, legacy just matters. I do really want to be remembered as a person that was just good and nice and kind and maybe even successful, but I guess it is just more of a secondary thing. Something that has to be said is still that you can give a fuck about somebody's opinions and in general the people's opinions, society's opinions of all those things. But I guess having legacy and having a good legacy is something else. At my point of view, it does not have something to do with giving a fuck about anybody's opinions, because if the whole fucking world thinks that you have been a shitty person, you are just a shitty person. Even though you might think you are not, and this actually kind of, you're basically playing a trick on yourself in the end, because you kind of make yourself, you're thinking so hard that you're a good person, that you actually can somehow make yourself also believe in it. Which is also good, because this somehow underlines the importance of our fucking conscious and also the power of our conscious and thoughts and mind and whatever. It is powerful. It really deeply is powerful, which you can definitely see by the what the fuck is it called? I've actually done an episode on it, I think on the weekend or something. Today's Tuesday. Fuck you. It's a certain effect, It's a certain effect. It's the never mind, really never mind. I don't give a fuck. This is, by the way, because I haven't actually pointed out, it is from Tom Popomaronis, who's the author of this article, just to let you know, just maybe because you also want to kind of look up another article of Tom Popomaronis and you do not want to check out the show notes or the link in the description or whatever, just because of certain reasons. I don't fucking know. But yeah, this is actually the end of the article. And, these points that I actually found really, really important, I've already pointed out and already emphasized and already underlined. But I do just have to say that he is totally right. And something that has to be said, and something that Jeff Bezos was also talking about, and also Steve Jobs and Warren Buffett, and actually all those really amazingly successful people have been talking about it. Also GaryVee, who's also definitely successful. They have been talking about passion and why you should actually be passionate about what you're working on. And it's still it is such a common thing to talk about. And it is such a kind of trendy thing also, maybe even to talk about, that you have to just work on something you love, work on something that you like, and whatsoever. And I believe in that. I really, truly, deeply believe in that shit, because it is just the case. We need to work on something that we like to do, and we need to work on something that we just want to do. Of course, you're not going to work as hard on something that you really fucking hate as on something that you really fucking love. If it is something love, there's going to be just some 18-hour work. There's going to be just some 18 hours fucking weeks, or actually days, not weeks, but days. And it's definitely a hard day. It's definitely a difficult thing. It's definitely then a difficult day as well. But if you really love what you're doing, it is not feeling like work. It is. And also, just because I've also read an article before and I also thought about reviewing it, but in the end I was like, okay, let's talk about more about Bezos' thoughts and whatsoever, because maybe this just convinces somebody more just because it is like what Bezos said, and he's definitely a pretty successful dude. And by the way, just because I've seen it, he wasn't talking about money there at all. He was not talking about money in the whole fucking article. There was no fucking more word about money. Only about success and actually making money. But it wasn't really about like, okay, if you're having a lot of money, you're going to be really fucking happy. Nobody said that. Really nobody. And a lot of people are talking about it. And a lot of people are saying like, no, happiness does not make you happy. Well, money does not make you happy, but happiness really does make you happy. But something else that I wanted to point out is that I've been reading an article on an author, and he's 80 years old, and he's still writing. He's still writing his novels, he's still writing his other shit, and he has published quite a bunch of things. He's pretty successful at what he's doing, and I also assume that he's really loving it. And he also said that he's loving it and that he's having a passion for writing things. And I really believe in that. You know why? Because he's working on things, he's writing on things, and he's fucking 80 years old. 80 years old. He's a fucking old fucking dude, and a lot of people are thinking about retirement. Yeah, I want to retire because I kind of want to retire. I do not want to retire. Something that I know about yourself, and now self-awareness and the importance of self-awareness already kicks in. If I don't want to retire, at least as I'm thinking about my life right now, and I also do hope that I'm not going to think about retiring in the next 80 years, 70 years, 60 years. So, until when there's actually kind of the day or time when I have to think about retiring, I do not want to do that. Because I kind of hate laying around all day long. I kind of hate taking care of fucking flowers all day long, or whatever retired people are doing all the fucking day long. I do not want to do that. I want to work on the shit that I'm loving. And I really truly hope that you and we both are going to make the decision that we're going to work on something that we love, rather than working on something that gives us the extra $100 a month. It wouldn't matter. In the end, it really does not matter. In the end, if it is a job that you really hate and it is giving you $100 more, $100 more, $100 more, please don't do that. Really don't do that. It is actually not a good choice, because in the end, you're gonna retire and you're gonna think about retiring. And if you're working on something that you love, and this might change, over time, it definitely can, then you won't think about retiring. It is not about money. It is about happiness. It is about not regretting what you have done your whole fucking life long. And I assume that if you're actually kind of really fucking looking forward to retiring and to just not working, to not just do what you're doing at this time, then it might not be the right thing. And of course, it is a difficult thing to change your job when you're fucking 50 years old. It is definitely. And especially if you're having kids, especially if you're having a family, especially if you're having a spouse, especially if everything is fucked up, your whole family is kind of fucked up, everyone's ill, I don't fucking know what's wrong. But then it is really difficult and also really fucked up. But I really hope that you're going to make the decision to go for happiness rather than money and other kind of bullshit fucking metrics. And I'm also really hoping that I'm going to make this choice as well. I really truly hope that I'm going to keep doing what I like to do and keep doing what I love to do. And also, well, I do really not like editing the stuff. I do kind of believe that it could make the whole episode a little bit better, but it is something that I do not quite like. Doing the episode is something that I like. I want to do that, because if I wouldn't like to do it, then I wouldn't do it just every fucking day or even 2 fucking times a day. But I do not like the editing part. Therefore, I'm also not going to edit it, because I kind of feel like, well, there's going to be the point of time where people are going to watch my shit. Because there's so much around that there's no fucking other point than actually watching my shit. I'm already having quite 500 fucking episodes. It's 460, I think, by now or something. It is a fucking lot. It is definitely a lot. It is a lot, and this just in a year, quite. A little bit more than a year. But it is a lot. It is really fucking a lot. But, we are not done yet. There's something else we have to do, or actually I want to do, and this is core questions, And as you can now see, is a little bit of a different environment because we are now going for this core question today. And let's actually work advice. Let's actually go for work advice. The first thing, does hard work really pay off? I think I'm actually going to talk about this. I think it's going to be a pretty easy one. Yes, at my point of view, it does. Something really important there as well is that you're working on something that you actually like to do. Because working hard on something that you hate is going to drown your fucking soul. It's going to really fucking kill you, basically, at my point of view. And I've seen it from time to time in my last internship, actually. There has been days I really didn't look forward to work. And I wasn't even looking forward while I was working. To the work that I'm doing at this point in time. It was really like fucking crushing my fucking soul. It was not a good feeling. It really was not a good feeling. I hated it. And then, just because I changed the way I think about things and also the way I interact with my fucking workplace, I changed my whole opinion and it was nice. And I liked it. And I started to like it. There's definitely, by the way, a lot of different variables that can lead you to just hating the thing that you're doing and also liking the thing that you're doing. Something that is just, for me, the case is that the people around me do fucking matter. If I'm working together with somebody that is just a piece of shit, then I'm just not going to enjoy the work that I'm doing, no matter how much I like the work. If there's somebody around that I love, somebody that I just like so much that I'm able to love with and smile with so amazingly much, then of course I'm gonna also like the fucking work. And I guess it is actually something that a lot of people do have, this kind of feeling and also this kind of framework, I guess. It is definitely not only for me the thing. But does hard work really pay off? I guess so, at least. I believe in it at least, and I guess no matter in what, well, not really, it still depends on what economical system you're living in. I'm definitely not in a capitalistic system and it will still work for me. If I'm working over hours, I'm going to be able to get a better job in a company, in theory. If you're somebody in a company and you're working your fucking butt off, of course you're going to have a better position the next year. Of course, your fucking employer will gonna notice that. Of course, they're gonna be like, well, yeah, I've seen you're working fucking hard for me on my fucking business. Of course, they're gonna pay you more. Why wouldn't they? And if they don't do that, then please change your fucking job and work harder at another fucking company. But I really assume that they will. If you're working over hours, of course, you're gonna get some more money. I think in Austria it is actually by law like that. I don't know what it is like in the US and in Canada or whatever. I don't know. I just don't know. But and of course it pays off. Or whether it be if you're working in a company, to actually getting a higher position or better position, or if you're working on your own stuff. If it is something that you like, then really work hard if you can, if you want to, if it is something that makes you happy, if it is something that really does not make you happy, even though work as such makes you happy, or this particular work makes you happy, just don't do that. Just don't work hard. Don't just really, judge yourself for not working hard, and also don't put yourself under so much pressure to work hard, especially what is working hard? What is it? How would you define it? But yeah, I think that's going to be the end of the episode. I really hope, well, I do not hope, but I really guess it is the case. Well, yeah, this has been the end of the episode. And I really have to say thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my fucking heart for actually going through this with me. It's been an amazing thing. And, it's actually been a quite okay episode, I have to say. It still depends on, I shouldn't judge, I might think, okay, it wasn't the best episode, but in the end, people think it is a great episode. I do not fucking know. I shouldn't judge my fucking work. But, I wish you the best health, wealth, happiness, and also success. And I also hope that you're going to remind yourself on how you're going to be remembered, which is basically your legacy, And as I said, we can shape it, We can manipulate it, we can stimulate it. And this is something you can do by being nice. The thing is, no matter how nice you are, no matter how generous you are, no matter how good you are, there's still going to be someone that hates you and maybe dislikes you. Or the other way around, actually. But yeah, also think about your purpose, and 3 questions that might help you with that are: why are you here? What are you trying to change? And what is bothering you the most. So what is something that you really fucking hate? And then there might be just a reason for you to change that, and also change it through a business actually. This might even lead you to a business fucking idea. Maybe, I don't know. It could be the case. I'll see you the next time, hopefully, and I see you. Bye. Thank you very much. I really have to thank you.